Hello, Jean-Marc. This is Natalia. So welcome to your Love and Romance Angel reading. And let me just explain to you what is going to happen in this reading, because I don't think you've had a reading with me before. So this is how I work when I'm doing a recorded reading. So what I do is I do a voice recording, and so you won't see any images coming up. And once the title screen disappears in about 30 seconds, the screen will just go blank. And the reason why I upload it like a video, the voice recording, is it's just the best way that everybody can access their reading, because people access it on laptops, different mobile phones, all kinds of different ways. So it's easier this way, so everybody can get their reading really simply. This is a private link, so no one else can access your reading but you. And it will be there for you to come back and listen to anytime you like, and you will be able to hopefully see that things have happened as I have shown and predicted in the reading, and also for you to keep reminding yourself about what is coming up, to give you comfort and hope about what's coming in. Okay, so you asked me about your ex, and what I'm going to do is first of all focus on where you've come from and where you're heading between now and this time 2018 when it comes to love and relationships. And then we're going to have a look in more detail at your ex, or is somebody else coming along, where are your blocks, all of that kind of stuff. So first of all, where you're at now is you're patiently waiting. I feel as though you are still in some way believing that she was the one for you. Even though things didn't work out, I feel that at the time when things were going really well, you were like partners in crime. You felt like you had met the other half of yourself. Even though you were very different, I think there was even a height difference, significant. There was a lot of differences between you, but you just slotted together in a really good way to make a bigger whole. And I feel as though you're a little bit lost and feel like you're stuck and unable to move on beyond this. I don't understand, why did this not work out? I'm kind of feeling like you're going around in circles a little bit and stuck in a groove. And your mind is trapping you because you are thinking about her so much. It's preventing you from meeting anybody else because you're putting this energy of doubt out there. Doubt in the fact that this relationship is totally over. In the back of your mind, you're believing that there's a possibility, there's an inkling, or you're asking the question to the universe, which you asked to me, obviously, is she coming back? And so that is what is preventing you from moving on and from your heart healing, because you don't want it to heal. I had this situation a few years ago. I met somebody and I was absolutely head over heels in love with this man. And when you are so besotted and it doesn't work out, there's a part of you that has to come to terms and accept that it's not going to work. But for a couple of years, I still believed he would come back. And we're going to have a look and see whether she will come back into your life. But right now, you're waiting, and that is what's blocking you from moving on from this. So you're very much ready. You would be ready to take her back if she emailed or texted you, or you bumped into her in the street and she said, "Oh, I don't know what went wrong with us. Let's give it another go." I can see that would be bliss to you, and you want that security, you want that stability back with her. And also, you don't have the answer to this question: is she coming back? Is everything over and done with between us? And while you have this doubt, that is preventing your personal power from overcoming this, from moving forward. So your heart can't heal because you're still holding her there in the heart space, and you are corded. When we hold on to somebody in this way emotionally, there is an etheric cord that we develop when we are very close to somebody emotionally. So it's like an invisible cord, it's like a rubber tube, and it goes from our heart to theirs, your heart to hers. And if you're going to move on from her, which we'll have a look at in a second, then you need to cut that. And even if you cut it still wanting to get back with her, if you in your mind's eye imagine chopping it, you will feel a lot better. It doesn't mean that she won't come back. What it means is it'll stop draining your energy, and really hurting you, because it's painful. It can feel like a physical pain, this kind of heartache. So yeah, I do feel as though what is for your highest good is to try and cut that etheric cord, because your attachment to her is draining you, and you will never heal beyond that and repair the damage that's been done. But what there is a promise of in your reading is the end of difficulties, and the end of this cycle of just going around in circles waiting and toing and froing, and like, is she coming back? Do I want her back? What's going to happen? I'm not meeting anybody else because I'm blocking. I'm putting this barrier up in front of me, and that is where you are almost hindering yourself and your own healing. Now, the message for your highest good is you've got the moon, and it's the number 18 card. And this is the moon is all about illusion. And it's about saying that this is maybe a time to free yourself from the illusion. So you maybe are making things more amazing in your mind than they were at the time. So, when we've had this period of separation from somebody, we haven't seen them. So we forget what it is that they were like, and all of the reasons why it didn't work out, the reasons why we broke up. And so we can start to inflate that person into being much bigger and better than they were, because we're not seeing them all the time. And so we create this illusion. And I feel as though the next new moon that we're going to get is in Sagittarius on the 18th of December. I feel as though that bubble is going to burst for you. It's going to help you to overcome this kind of sense of hanging on to the past. Now, one of the reasons why you're probably feeling particularly drawn to being stuck or thinking about her a lot at the moment is about 3, sometimes 4 times a year, the planet Mercury goes backwards. So it's sort of advancing forward, or for the rest of the year, it's the planet of communication. It's the planet of our drive and, being able to function properly. And then when Mercury goes retrograde, it starts to make us rewind and reboot and reflect, and we start to think about people from the past. And so Mercury goes retrograde, where you're going to start thinking about the past a lot more, and people from the past can come back in. So if you want her back, Mercury retrograde could be a good time, December, for her to come back in and show up again, or the next time Mercury is retrograde. However, Mercury is in its shadow at the moment, so this sort of thing starts to happen around now, where she'll be in your thoughts a lot. So think about where you are, maybe building her up in your mind to be better than she was, or to the relationship to be better than it was, and try and think logically and realistically and truthfully about how things really were, and see if that gives you any kind of comfort or makes things better. Okay, so let's have a look at your ex. All right, now I feel as though she was a person, or is a person, should I say, who is very driven by material things. And I feel like she put a lot of emphasis on money and wanting to do things with money. So she's the kind of person who wants to have nice things, who wants to go on nice holidays, wants to have a nice car, wants to have a nice home. And so finances and the money side of life were very important to her. And one of the things that I feel like she did was she wanted financial freedom. She wanted to be able to spend money and have money and make plans. And I feel like she put a lot of pressure on you to earn more and be better. Either that or you put more pressure on yourself because you wanted to give her everything that she wanted. So there's this emphasis on money, very much on being driven for the material things in life. And for her, I feel like she's the kind of person that she wants to make sure she's taken care of in a relationship, and emotionally and materially. So it's not enough for her to have a really lovely relationship where everybody is, you just get on so well. It's you have lovely flowing energy and there's a lot of love between you. No, there's got to be money as well. So she's very keen on that. There's something that she's experienced a lot of hurt in her life, and she's kind of determined to not be in that place again where she's experiencing rejection. The other thing is, I feel like she rejected you. There's a great deal of pain. It was like a dagger to your heart, is the best way of describing it. Like she plunged a knife into your heart. And I feel that's why it's so hard to get over, because it's like the lack of control, her wanting to be free. I feel also when it comes to her work and the things that she does for a living, she likes a great deal of freedom. She's coming through as an air sign lady, as somebody who's an air sign, so that would be Gemini, Libra or Aquarius. Feels like one of the more flighty air signs, so it could be Gemini or Aquarius, where she likes the freedom, she likes to be independent. She's a little bit cold and aloof coming through here. And the other thing is, her soul's journey lesson, what has she got to learn from what she's done, in this relationship and how she's behaved and what happened between you? Her lesson is about gratitude. So not just seeing things at face value, being very truthful, seeing the truth, just as in the way that I've said to you that you need to be a little bit more open-eyed about what actually went on between you. How was she being? How did she treat you? How did she end the relationship? It's that truth and honesty with yourself. But I don't think she's honest with herself about what she wants. And I don't think she treated your heart as respectfully and valuable in a way that treated it as though it had a lot of value. And she's learning a big lesson about being grateful for what she has and the love that she's being given, and not to step all over it, and not to look beyond, because when somebody gives us their heart, when somebody offers up their heart, opens their heart, that has more value than anybody can ever realize. It has no price. You can't put a value on that. But if you're very materially driven, then you can't see that. You can't see the value. You're like, well, that's great, but where's the money? Show me the money. So that's how I'm feeling about that. She's learning about gratitude and being grateful for somebody being open, honest, and loving and open-hearted. Because believe me, the amount of readings I do for ladies who get treated very badly by men or can't get commitment from men, it's very refreshing to have somebody who's very sensitive and caring and open-hearted as you. So that is what I'm picking up about her. I do feel as though the message for you, if I don't see her coming back in anytime soon, if she does come back in. But what I do see, the big message for you with my romance angel cards, is that you need to love yourself and really not be so hard on yourself and think about, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong in this relationship? I do feel as though there's nothing you could have done. When somebody is very clear about what they want in a relationship, and you're working very hard to try and fulfill that, it goes against your authenticity, okay? And there's a lot to be learnt from what happened for both of you, not just you in terms of giving and being trying to be better. There's a lot that she needs to learn about. She's let go of something very good and someone who was giving her something so valuable. I think she will see the value of that in the fullness of time. Whether you want to stick around and wait to see whether that happens or not, who knows? We'll have a look. We'll keep going. So love yourself, heal your heart, and in the heart chakra, the energy center where we experience unconditional love for somebody else. This is the energy center, the space, the heart chakra is where we feel unconditional love for ourselves. So we don't beat ourselves up. We're married to ourselves first and foremost before we get into a relationship with anybody else. And you've got to love yourself. You've got to really value yourself and go, do you know what? I'm a catch. I am such a catch. There's no one like me. And if somebody doesn't appreciate that, then they need to move along the bus, because I'm waiting for the next person who really does get how great I am. And that's not about being conceited. That is about, it's a long old life that you've got to spend with yourself. And I know you've been on your own and you don't want to be, but there is this period of isolation. And the reason why you've been put in isolation before you can get back into a relationship with somebody is the universe and your angels don't want you making the same mistake of putting somebody in front of you, ahead of you. Love yourself first, and then you can have an equal loving relationship where nobody is better than the other. Nobody's draining on anybody financially, emotionally, or hurting anybody. You will value yourself a lot more in the next relationship for sure. So let's just see. So I have drawn some more cards for you, Jean-Marc, to ask about who is the lady who is right for you, and hopefully we'll get some indication of whether it's her or not. And let's just see. Okay. Right, sorry, I'm just turning the cards over. Okay, so the person who's coming in is somebody who is incredibly creative. I'm just going to see if they can give me a... Whoops. I feel she's a very like-minded person, and I feel as though you will meet her when you are around like-minded friends and colleagues in a situation where you're doing things that you love to do, and in an environment where... yeah, she's so creative, super creative, this lady. Okay, now I feel as though she's a fire sign lady. So that could be her sun, moon or rising sign in either Sagittarius, Aries or Leo. And she's somebody who's very adventurous. So I feel like she's travelled a lot. So she may actually not even be the same nationality as you. She may be a foreigner who's living in the place that you are living, and I don't know where you live, Jean-Marc, so maybe you're a foreigner living outside of your place of birth, but you're it feels like she's well travelled, and she may even be somebody who isn't the same nationality as you. She has got a lot of creativity, this lady, and she's very expressive with it. So this could be painting, writing, drawing, photography. It could be making things, actually physically making things that she sells or designing in some way. But there's just this creative expression pouring out of her. And it's her true life's purpose, like she's doing what she loves. She's very, very much into what she enjoys doing. And she's always got ideas on the go. She likes to start new things. So that's very reflective of the Aries or the Sagittarius. They're both sort of quite impulsive characters, and that like to start new things. Don't necessarily like looking at the detail. They love to start things, and they always coming up with new things, and like to look at the bigger picture. Very, very visionary, and connecting the dots other people don't see. Have ideas that come from nowhere. So that's the kind of person that she is, and she has achieved a lot. She works very hard. she takes leaps of faith with the way that she does things. And also, I feel as though she's not your normal type. Now, a lot of people go, I don't have a type. But actually, if you look back, you probably do, that you'll have a certain physical type that you go for, or personality type that you go for. Because I used to think I don't have a type, but I actually do when I think about it. And so keep an open mind when you meet her. I'm not saying that you won't find her attractive, because she's so attractive, you know, the way she's a very interesting person, and got so much adventure in her soul, but not, you know, when I'm looking at your ex, she's sort of free, as in you can't hold her down, you can't pin her down, she's kind of really elusive, whereas this lady who's coming in is very kind of, she's free-spirited, but like in a way that she's adventurous, but not elusive and cold, and you can't get close to her. Okay. And so the other thing that I asked about, how do you meet? I feel like when you're back in balance, when you reach a place where you feel as though you have really got yourself in check when it comes to releasing the doubts about your ex, really holding on to the fact that you deserve to be treated really well, and really opening yourself back up to stepping into your personal power and going, I am valuable, I have a value, I love myself, I am enough, and I don't have to. You know, we can always improve, we could always exercise more, we could always learn more, all of those things, we could always dress better. That isn't the thing that's in question here. The thing that's in question is you standing there as you do right now, listening to this. In that moment, you are perfect. You know, and the right person needs to see you as such and go, you know what, I'll take you as you are right now. You're enough for me, because you are enough. And I feel as though you're going through a process of releasing and freeing yourself up from this burden of not feeling enough. And so it would be really good to do some meditations to heal your heart chakra, to get over the sort of shock and the loss and just heal. And also the solar plexus chakra, which is all about where we have our self-esteem, where we have our power, where we believe in ourselves. I'm good enough, you know. And when is she coming in? Well, it's interesting, because I feel like she comes out of the blue. It literally like, ooh, 1 minute you're there and you're just going about your business, and then the next, there she is. It's kind of really, really serendipitous meeting. You don't have to do anything to meet her. A lot of the time I get advice from the angels about saying, oh, you know, this person, they need to go here and do this. They need to, you know, socialize more because they're not going out enough, all that kind of stuff. But for you, I feel like she's in the fringes of the circles that you're moving in, and the things that you're interested in is where she's fitting in around that. So it's like you're going to bump into each other sooner or later. But it's through like-minded people, like-minded interests. And she's so creative. Did I mention that? She's very creative. So yeah, and she's got this wonderful vibe about her. It's like she's very outgoing, but not in a kind of noisy, like, you know, some people are really over the top. What I'm picking up from her is she just exudes this beautiful confidence. She's very sorted. She's very just within herself. She knows what she wants. She knows who she is. She's not dealing with loads of hang-ups. And I'm just going to have a look and see what her lesson is. Because we all have a soul's journey lesson. We all have something that we're dealing with and working through. Let's see what she's dealing with. This would be interesting. Your fire, what looks like a fire sign lady. Peace. Okay, so this is wonderful. So she's all about peace, being at peace with who she is, what she came here to do, bringing peace into her life. That's her soul's mission, is to learn how to bring peace and be a peaceful person. Be honest, be open, be really open to what is her calling in life, and she's done it, she's in it. And releasing negative energy. So she doesn't seem like a dramatic kind of person. She just feels like somebody who's confident within herself. She knows her on a spiritual level, she knows who she is, and she knows what it is that she needs to do. She's honest. She's very chatty, but not in an annoying chatterbox way. And she's very attractive. She's a very womanly, feminine lady. And she takes life and she makes the most of it. And she looks and sounds to me as somebody very lovely. Okay, and you need to keep an open mind, and you need to just look around you in your circle, look at getting involved in other groups, to do with things that you're interested in, and I feel as though it's just a matter of time before she comes in that way. Okay, so let's have a look and see. Oh, so I feel as though it's not going to be long before you're going to meet her. I feel like 3 months, within the next 3 months. So we're practically at the end of November. So I'm just going to lump the last week of November and December together. And I think it's going to be a very busy time for you. You're going to be rushing around all over the place, very, very busy. So there's a lot to do, a lot to accomplish, a lot to finish off. So that's going to take your mind off things. But also, I feel as though, this is a time for you to really sweep away the things that have held you back emotionally, and to take back the reins of your life. So to really start to look honestly at what happened between you and your ex, to start to release some of those feelings. We've got Mercury retrograde for about 20 days in December, from fully going backwards from the 3rd to about the 24th. And so during that period, you're reflecting and you're really looking back on, where are my patterns in past relationships? Where have I maybe put people on a pedestal, maybe not seen them for who they are, allow myself to maybe carry some illusion about this person who you broke up with, and to really start to look at how you can value yourself more, and that helps you to empower yourself and take your control back and really heal yourself, because you're just kind of dangling around at the moment, and that's not good. And then in January, you're doing a lot of work, or getting involved with things to do with culture and the arts, charity work maybe, being very open-hearted, getting involved in things that are very close to your heart. So I see you really healing. January is a really healing month. We have a super full moon on the 2nd of January. So that is in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So this super full moon is mega. It's a big one. And what it's telling us all is to say, we're just getting into 2018. What do you need to release? Have a good think about that. What would you like to leave behind, get rid of? What doesn't serve you in terms of patterns, thoughts, feelings, ways of being? And how do you want to be in 2018? And really wipe that slate clean on the 2nd of January with that full moon. And then we have 2 really interesting things happening. One at the end of January, on the 31st of January, and one on the 15th of February. So the 31st of January, we have a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Leo. And that is going to bring things to fullness and completion, and get you to a point where you can really well and truly cut things out of your life once and for all, and release things. And then in 15th of February, We've got the new moon in Aquarius, and that's a solar eclipse, and that is bringing big opportunities. It's like a new moon on steroids. It's like 25 times the power and potency of a new moon, where we can make our wishes when new opportunities come in. And for you in February, you have the opportunity for love. So being open to a new person coming into your life, and so funnily enough, nearly around Valentine's Day, this solar eclipse, beautiful time. And so the new opportunity coming in for you in February at this lunar eclipse on the new moon on the 15th is all about love. So there is the potential for you to meet somebody new, potentially this lady that I've talked about, that I've seen in your reading. And in March, you're really feeling so much more energized, so much more invigorated, excited, a little bit, hearts fluttering. Things are going well. Okay, so just enjoy that February and March time for potential good time for love. One of the things that is coming up in April, now April is a bit of a weird month, and every time I've done a reading for anybody lately, April's coming up as like don't like April. I just want to get a bit more clarity for you around what's happening in April, because there's a bit of conflict around you. So I think that we're all going to be on the receiving end of this in some shape or form. And it's to do with the things that you're trying to do around your work. Maybe there's a bit of confusion around certain skills and knowledge that you need in your job. So it feels like work-related stuff is going to be a bit hassly. But again, it gets released as we get towards the new moon. So the new moon is around the 15th, 16th of April. And so you start to be clearer about what it is that you need to do going forward, and it opens up opportunities to resolve any kind of work-related issues. And then finally, we get to May. Let me just draw another card for you. And again, work-related stuff, a little bit, a few delays, a few changes to plans, particularly to do with any kind of teamwork that you're doing in the workplace. So they're just giving me that. So there is going to be some kind of team-related project that you're working on, and people may be getting a little bit tricky to organise, or to get them to keep up their side of the bargain of what they need to do. But you will get through that. So the only stuff that I see that's a bit awkward for you is work-related things in April and May. But love looks like it's on the horizon for you, certainly around February, and the timing of it is very good for the 15th of February solar eclipse. So look forward to that. Be open to new love. I'm going to draw you a couple of little cards just to finish your reading. So I have these tiny little cards, and the first one I'm going to draw is a silver wing card, and this is about your advice for your emotions and your intuition from the angels. So what is the advice for Jean-Marc? Explore spiritual and psychic development. So you're very psychic, you're very spiritually attuned. So keep yourself topped up with doing things like meditations, whatever it is that you're interested in. Is it astrology? Is it angelic stuff? Is it Reiki? Whatever holistic or spiritual things that you're interested in, try and do some kind of spiritual practice, because that will help very much with the healing side of things, with the heart chakra and the solar plexus, to really empower those energy centers and remove any blocks there that prevent this beautiful lady coming into your life. And then your action, the advice, the action, you've got Hamaliel, the angel of smooth work and home relationships. So relationships look like they're going to be very smooth in 2018. Opportunities for a new one to come in. Do lots of reflecting on things in December, particularly while Mercury is retrograde between the 3rd and the 23rd of December. And try and work on doing all you can to nurture yourself, really see yourself as valuable, and to put yourself first in terms of what's important to me and how can I heal. So I hope you've enjoyed your reading. As I said, you can come back and listen to it anytime you wish using the link I sent you. And I'm sending you lots of love and angel blessings.